How to use home equity to build wealth. So a lot of you, you're on these fast, half the time pay down plans to pay off your house. Those of you during COVID who had a really low, if not 0.12% interest rate, why, when debt is the cost of money, would you pay off cheap money? 0.12, even up to 3, 4, 5%. When you learn and as you learn to make 15, 18, 20%. So that difference, why would you put an extra couple $100,000 into your house just to have a bunch more equity in a non-cash flow asset when you could take that extra couple hundred and go put it to work into other assets that can produce cash flow? So you've just got to look at the use of money, and most people don't. So I want to talk about 3 things. How do you tap into your equity wisely or just not pay off all of your house? How do you stretch that? Number 2, where would you put your equity for bigger investment returns? What are your options and how do you even start thinking about that? And then number 3, what are the mistakes I see people make in getting too far and too deep into leveraging their house with HELOCs and other interesting ways that they have kind of messed it up. So stay to the end, keep you out of all sorts of costly mistakes. So number 1, so first, how do you actually tap into the home equity? Well, there's obviously HELOCs in other countries. You can actually borrow up to all but 20% of the equity, and it's almost like a line of credit. It's not like it is in the United States where you have to go in and actually refinance and go through an entire reclosing process and have to repay all the fees. So know your country, know the laws, and how do you tap into it? It's up to you. You can also borrow against it, depending on your bank and depending on how alternative your financial institute is. So a couple things to think about when you're pulling your equity. I mean, what is the current market conditions? And also just assess your cash flow, right? So those people that actually have an ability to make a lot of money, like I have an ability to turn on and make a lot of cash if I choose to and I want to. Some of you don't know how to make money. You're still learning to make money. So your ability to create cash to cover any losses or downturns is going to help protect it. But I have seen people, and again, we'll get to mistakes towards the end of the video, pull too much equity, they can't afford the payment, and they're blowing their cash flow on the other side. So the formula just doesn't work. Remember, numbers and math don't lie, people do. So just let the numbers tell you the truth. So talk to one of our coaches, our mentors. I mean, if you go to a financial planner, they're going to want to take the money, absolutely help you get the line of credit or get the equity out. Then they're going to put it into this emotional machine called the stock market. So just watch what you're going to do if you do pull it, because if they lose it, which financial planners have not done great in the last few years, they've just allowed the long-term approach to a 30% loss in 2020, 28% loss in 2022. I don't know about you, those aren't acceptable losses to me, and saying, well, we're in for the long haul isn't really the conversation I want to have. Why'd you lose it in the first place? So be careful why you're pulling it and what you're buying with it. Now, to pull some equity to go buy another rental property, perfect. Now watch the second home syndrome. I just made that up, but I'm going to call it that. A lot of you want a second home. I would say you want a second rental property. If you call it a home, it's not a deduction. So you need to set it up that it actually could be rented. You're going to be shocked at how minimum you actually have to rent it out to treat it like a rental property. You get a whole different and better tax structure inside of it. So what are you pulling the equity for? What's the purpose and how fast can you repay it? Do you need to repay it? All these are conversations that we'll be having as we continue to coach and mentor. Number 2, how do you invest once you pull that equity out? So say you pull out $100,000 of equity. If you're still paying some interest or you have a HELOC, charge, there's going to be some fee or, percent on that. You obviously want to make more than you're having to pay, clearly. So what else could do that? Like right now in a recession market, like I use iFlip. I'll give you a free app. It's in the link below. iFlip is an AI-driven software. It's not telling you investment advice, but it pulls you in and out of the market based on what the market trends are doing. So instead of losing 30%, 28%, you're going to actually minimize any of your losses. And sometimes you might just be in cash. Life insurance, which we're going to be talking about more and more, is a huge recession-proof investment. And then I love notes. I love notes that I'm first position, not second or third position, where I'm actually the hard money lender. I'm going to loan it out at 12, 15%. You're going to pay me a monthly or quarterly interest payment. Be careful, you are in first position, and what's the worst case? They default on the note, you take the property over. So don't mind those at all as you think about, well, how are you going to invest? In my Wealth Cycle Investing book, which is the 3rd Millionaire Maker book, we're going to give you the first 3 chapters of my Wealth Cycle Investing book to teach you how to start looking at the alternatives. So you're not just thinking real estate and the stock market. So many people think those are the only 2 investments. They're not. There's so many other choices that you could do to use that home equity to start creating more wealth. Now, before we go to the third and costly errors chapter section of this video, I want you to click that notification button. I'd like you to be here 5 days a week, subscribe, and binge this channel. I have so many playlists that you could talk about any topic you want, and grab our journal. So we built these learning journals for you and your family. So if you've got 5 kids, you and your husband get 7 journals, get them for holiday gifts coming up. And as you notice inside, it's what video day you're watching, what did you learn, what are you going to do? And you start together talking about a plan for you and your family to create wealth, which is where generational wealth learning and legacy families begin, is in the conversation about money. Now, as we go back to the common mistakes, the obvious one is frivolous spending. And the worst, right up there with it, is when you refinance your debt and consolidate it into your home so you have one easy payment. You're going to get sold that all the time. Marketers are amazing at it. And all you're doing is paying massive fees. And why would you dilute your house by a bunch of credit card debt that you blew out? It's amazing how many people get upside down because they continue to put their bad debt inside of the best asset they have, called their house. Another big costly mistake. You're not paying attention to interest rates or the terms of the loans, even the HELOCs. Some HELOCs are expensive, so why do them? You've got to look at the numbers. Again, numbers don't lie, people do. So it's a math equation. So take the emotion out of your money conversation. There's nothing emotional about it. It's like, this is the pro, this is the con, this is how you're going to make it, this is how you're going to lose it. It's not that difficult. It's different. So if you want to be a millionaire, you've got to start learning our strategies. So in the page 194 of The Millionaire Maker, I have a whole debt plan. So go read that, how we would get you out of debt, and start thinking taking on a home mortgage can be one of your greatest assets. And for some of you, you blow it and it becomes an amazing liability. And then the last is just don't over leverage. Don't take so much out that your payment is so high you can't cover it, because either you don't make that much in your job or your business isn't making that much. So now you can't cover the higher payment. So again, part of our job is to mentor and coach and educate you on how do you sort this out? How do you understand it? So you're not guessing and just handing it over to what I call the park and pray people. So, abdicate all of your wealth and your money rules to somebody, and it's not their family. This is yours. I mean, your money rules should be more important to you, and you need to spend some time leaning in and learning this. If you have any questions, go to askloral.com, ask a question, make a request. We're there 7 days a week, 24/7, answering questions. I mean, this was just 1 week worth of questions. You should see how many that come in, and people ask questions from all over the world, all sorts of different questions, and we answer every one of them. If you want to join our membership, there's a link below, $17 a month, and you can come live. You can raise your hand if you qualify and say, I want to come live and do a quick mini makeover with Loral on an Ask Loral call. Those are super fun. So if you have any questions, go to askloral.com. Again, we'll be back tomorrow, and grab your learning journal.